we're asked to standardize the minimum and maximum of this data set up here. And they give us a mean of 32.04 and a standard deviation. So we don't have to calculate the mean or the standard deviation ourselves. So you could look through and carefully find the smallest value and convert it to a z-score. Then you can look through and find the largest value and convert it to a z-score. But what I do is I copy this data, and then I usually paste it in a spreadsheet software, because if there's 25 numbers, there's a chance for human error in there. So we can have spreadsheet software quickly find out the min and max. I'll just put a label here. You don't have to have these words, but equals min, open a set of parentheses and type A1, the starting cell A1, and then it goes all the way down to A25. And there, the minimum value is 11, and the maximum value equals max in Google Sheets or in Excel, either one. Then you go from A1 to A25. So there's our min and our max. So we have to standardize those. So to do that, you just have to convert them to a z-score, and here's the formula for a z-score. You take the value you're trying to convert, like 11 for the first number, and then subtract it by the mean, and then once you're done doing that, then divide by the standard deviation. In this problem, they told us to use 32.04 for the mean, and the standard deviation they said was 9.868. Okay, so to calculate the first z-score, I'm typing out what I'm going to be punching in my calculator. I'm going to type the minimum. I'm going to 11 in for x, 32.04 for the mean, 9.868 for the standard deviation. So with the calculator, do 11, subtract by 32.04, and hit enter. Then divide that by the standard deviation. I think they want 3 decimal places. So that's my z-score for the minimum. That's the standardized value. And then for the max, we do the same thing except we're putting in 48 in for x. If you do that calculation, 48 subtract by 32.04, and divide by 9.868, it's 1.617. So negative 2.132, and then 1.617. Which has the more extreme z-score? The more extreme one is the one that's furthest from 0. Negative 2.312 is a little more than 2 z-scores away. 2 standard deviations, we should say. It's more than 2 standard deviations away. This one's about 1.5 standard deviations away, so the minimum is more extreme. How old would someone be with a z-score of 3? Well, let's go back to that formula. A z-score is a particular value, subtracted by the mean, divided by the standard deviation. They just told us to plug in 3 for the z-score. I don't know what the age is, but I know the mean, and I know the standard deviation. So this is an equation you can solve. To get x by itself, you want to do the opposite to the 9.868. Right now it's dividing. So if I multiply 9.868 to both sides, then I've gotten rid of it on the right side. Because divide 9.868 times 9.868, they cancel each other out because they're opposite operations. So on that left side, we got 29.604. Oops. And then the last thing to do to get x by itself in that equation is to add the 32.04 to both sides. So I've got an age of 61.644. Let's see how many decimals they want, though. 3 decimals.